Welcome back to the Six and Seventh Man podcast. I'm your host, Matt, and today it's just a six man podcast because my co host, Booba, has disappeared on me. Just kidding. He's been busy and I've been traveling, and it's been hard to line up a time to where we both have an hour or so available to record. Which is why we are late with this episode, but I'm going to put something out anyway. Might be short. I want to give a reaction to the All Star selections and also some of the trade rumors going around at the moment, and just a quick breakdown of everything that's been going on. So, the latest and greatest news within the last hour or two is that the Clippers and James Harden are seeking a trade. Apparently, the Cavs are interested in a swap with Darius Garland. Excuse me. Um, I like this trade for both teams. I mean, James Harden is older and I'm guessing wants a championship at some point in his career. And obviously doesn't see that happening with this current Clippers roster. This Clippers roster has been a struggle all season. They're winning games as of lately. They've been winning a lot of games as of lately because of what Kawhi has been doing. But to start the season, they were horrible. Bradley Beal goes down. John Collins hasn't really been the fit that they thought he would be. The whole Chris Paul situation didn't work out. I mean, this roster is James Harden's missed time, Kawhi's missed time, and then all of a sudden Kawhi starts playing out of this world. They start winning games, and now it's time for James Harden to be traded. I don't know. Whatever. I don't care. That roster, they don't have their draft picks for the next couple of years. And yeah, once Kawhi and James Harden are done, they really have nothing to look forward to. No promising young guys. So I am in full support of James Harden and the Clippers for seeking out a deal. As far as his fit with the Cavs, I'm not sure. We all know James Harden demands the ball. That's when he's at his greatest, is when he has the ball in his hands and he's isolated, or he can draw in a defense, make the right pass, get the offense going. In recent years, he's been a much more willing passer, and he's still able to score. Like, I know for a fact James Harden could average 30 a game if he really wanted to. But he's been more of a facilitator in his recent years. This is good. This gets the ball out of Donovan Mitchell's hands. He doesn't have to be so ball dominant. He can work off the ball a little bit, give him a little breather. Also, with the Cavs just acquiring Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis, that takes a little bit of the defensive liability that Harden is away. Those guys can play defense as well as the rest of that roster. It's a decent defensive team. Obviously Garland isn't, but he wouldn't be there anymore. Now, as far as Darius Garland on the Clippers, it's a good move for the Clippers because they get younger and he's got a lot of talent. The only concern with him is going to be his toe, and if he can ever get back to the all-star level he was playing at last year. Really, for a couple of years he's been playing great. Just that since that injury happened, he hasn't been the same and had some injury issues his whole career. So I like Darius Garland. He's extremely talented offensively, great vision, great scoring ability. But the injury issues are real. And if I'm the Clippers, I'm still taking the chance because, again, there's nothing to look forward to. And at least you have all-star talent with Darius Garland. And if that doesn't amount to anything, then it doesn't amount to anything. But James Harden's going to be gone regardless. And I'm not really sure what, I think he's 36, 37-year-old James Harden's trade value is around the league. And Darius Garland's probably the best you're going to get. So I would definitely move on that if I was them. And considering, I don't know, they're not looking super promising this year with all the issues they've had. Um, yeah, I like the trade idea. We'll see if it ends up happening or where he ends up going. Also, big trade news. Giannis, of course, has been in discussion all season to get traded. And I'm not sure how excited I am about the idea of like Giannis going to Golden State. simply because they're going to have to get rid of Jimmy's contract. Um, I mean, they can keep Jimmy, but he's not going to be back till next year. So that's another wasted year. And if you're bringing in Giannis, you want to win a championship right now. So I'm guessing Jimmy goes in that deal, as well as Kaminga and a bunch of picks. I don't know. And then you're looking at the roster. It's going to be Giannis, Draymond, Steph, whoever they manage to keep, maybe Moody, Pods. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I mean, Giannis and Steph is going to be crazy, obviously, and they're going to contend. But the teams in the West are just so deep. When you talk about OKC, Denver, San Antonio, Houston, even Minnesota, like the teams are just deep, and they're going to be hard to beat with a thin roster like that. So something I don't know if I see the fit. It might happen, it might not. We'll see. Um, the Miami fit I like. I'm not sure how they make that work. I'm guessing Khalil Ware has to be in that deal. Maybe Tyler Hero. I don't know how they make that work, but that is interesting to me. The New York destination for Giannis doesn't make any sense to me. Moving off of Cat for Giannis, I'm guessing Cat and Picks or Cat and Bridge. I don't even. If I'm Milwaukee, I don't even want Cat or anything that New York has. I'm looking to build toward the future. I want young guys and picks, valuable picks. That's all I really care about because they still have Damian Lillard's buyout, which I think is like close to 25 million a year for the next 5 years, just dead money on their books. It's going to be hard to build championship roster as they can see right now, with that on their books. And yeah, I'm just looking towards the future if I'm them, but we'll see what they end up doing. We'll see what, and I if I'm if I had to bet, I would say Giannis is going to stay with Milwaukee till the end of the season, and then get moved in the offseason. I just don't see a deal that makes sense, or to a team that makes any sense at the moment. Um, but we'll see. Um, I may be wrong, but this is just my opinion at the moment. The All Stars. I want to discuss this quickly because this was the last episode we did was on this topic. The All Stars. The reserves have been announced, and I think I got all of them right in the East, with exception to Pascal Siakam. Um, I had Michael Porter making it over him. Uh, I'm not mad at. Uh, I don't know. I'm not mad at Siakam getting in. He's a great player and he's having a good year, but they're not doing anything. Also, the Nets aren't doing anything. So, you could say the same for Michael Porter on why he didn't deserve to get in. But that was an interesting one to me. Um, Also, in the West, I think I was right, except for Sengun. And I believe it was Chet that got in over Sengun, which in the last episode we discussed as a possibility simply because OKC has the best record in the NBA, and the NBA is known for, the best team having more than one guy in the All-Star game, even if maybe they don't deserve it as much as some of the other guys. And considering Sengun didn't make it, who I believe definitely deserved to be an All-Star. Kawhi didn't make it. James Harden didn't make it. There's a lot of guys in the West that didn't make it. Even guys like Dylan Brooks. But yeah, I mean, Chet's having a good year, but that's Sengun's got to be in there in my opinion. I don't understand that, but it's okay. I mean, shoot, even Julius Randle can make an argument for him. But it is what it is. Those are the selections. There's going to be some reserves, especially in the East. Giannis isn't playing, so maybe Michael Porter gets thrown in there for Giannis. And in the West, I believe everyone's healthy at the moment that got selected, but there could be some reserves over there. So we will see. Sorry. I've been very busy traveling and have a lot going on. Same with my co-host Booba. He's got a lot going on. So I'll keep this pretty short today, but another thing I wanted to discuss was Paul George's suspension, 25-game suspension for violating the league's drug policy, which according to him was for some mental health medication, which doesn't sound like it just sounds like gibberish to me. But who am I? I don't even have any idea what drug he used to violate. It is funny how it comes right after his game where he had, I think, 8 or 9 threes. Um, I think that was his highest scoring game as a Sixer. And he was seen doing 360 windmill dunks, and then they drug test him, and here he is, 25-game suspension. I don't think this is a big deal for the Sixers. It's not like he's a huge part of that team at the moment. He hardly even plays anyway. Embiid is coming back and is coming back into form. Still a little off on the movement and the agility, but I mean, he's dropping 40-point games and putting up some crazy numbers. That's just how talented he is. With one leg, he can drop 40 on you. So I'm not too concerned if I'm the Sixers. They'll still be in the playoff mix out there in the East. And I am intrigued to see what that team does when they do get to the playoffs, because they are, if they can stay healthy, they have a very good roster. It's the if they could stay healthy that we always wonder about, especially with Embiid and Paul George. Maxi's having an MVP level season. Edgecombe has been fantastic. And then the rest of that roster, they have a bunch of solid guys. Their guards off the bench, obviously, Kelly Oubre, Barlow. These are all quality players. So I don't think it's a huge blow for the Sixers. If anything, Paul George is probably like I would say at the least the third scoring option on that team, maybe the fourth sometimes. So yeah, it'll hurt a little, I guess, but as long as they stay healthy, they'll continue to be right where they are and actually probably improve, since Embiid is playing a lot better these days. Um, so yeah, I'll say that I don't buy the whole mental health thing. Like maybe I don't know, but what do I know? Shout out to Paul George. We'll be waiting for you to get back. It'll be interesting to see that team in the playoffs finally. That being said, Oklahoma City does have their pick this year, as well as the Clippers pick and the Jazz, which is top 8 protected. So the Jazz will probably keep that pick. But anyway, OKC will get the Sixers pick. So hopefully they don't make the playoffs, but I'm sure they will. They're in the mix, and the East isn't super fantastic at the moment. And speaking of the East, there's a team I want to discuss that has gone on a winning streak in the East, and that's the Charlotte Hornets, who are still currently 11th in the standings, but they are working their way up. On this their last winning streak, they beat the Thunder, they beat the Spurs. I believe they beat the Timberwolves too. They beat some good teams. This Charlotte Hornets team is starting to come together, and we knew they were talented. We know LaMelo was talented. We know Brandon Miller's talented. We've seen what Knupple's been doing. We know who Miles Bridges is. Um, no, they're a very fun team to watch. I've been watching them all year, and I enjoy Brandon Miller's. There's some days where Brandon Miller looks like a genuine all-star. Same with LaMelo. We already know that about LaMelo. And then Knuple, who might get Rookie of the Year. It's going to be tough with Cooper Flag doing what he's doing. Um, Regardless, he's deserving to be in that discussion for sure. That's a fun team to watch at the least. If they even get into the play-in / playoffs, I don't expect them to do much other than be entertaining. Offensively, they're a very hard team to stop when they get going and when they're making shots, especially when Brandon Miller and when his shot is falling. This is a very dangerous team with him and Knuple shooting and LaMelo dicing up the defense. It's a very interesting team to watch. So I'll keep it brief on them. Although I will say I have been enjoying their streak, even though they beat my Thunder by like 30 something. This is a team that will blow you out on any given night. They're that good offensively, and they get hot, and they just look like they're having fun. And LaMelo always looks like he's having fun. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing from the Hornets, but again, I don't expect much. It's more of a something to look forward to in the future. Not really as much of a threat now. I think there's a lot better teams out there in the East and definitely in the West. But regardless, Charlotte has been known for being a terrible franchise. I don't even remember the last time they won a playoff series as a team, or let alone just be in the playoffs. I think the last time they were in the playoffs was with, I think, LaMelo. I don't even know. But my point is they're not a great franchise, and it's kind of exciting to see them on a little win streak and play some entertaining basketball. So it's good for them. I want to speak on my Thunder for a second, just because I'm very disappointed in them lately. They have looked very stagnant and offensively, defensively, same team. And again, they're hurt, and Jalen Williams is hurt again, and Caruso's missed a bunch of time. Hartenstein's missed. Everyone's missed a bunch of time, but I still don't like what I'm seeing. AJ Mitchell's been out too. Um, still, still a little worried. We'll see post All-Star break. We'll see when everyone gets healthy, if that happens, what the team starts to look like, if it starts to come into form again. But I haven't seen it yet, and I'm still a little worried. But I'm not gonna get too hard on it at the moment. Other trade news: Anthony Davis, of course, has been in the discussions. John Morant's been in the discussions. All these people, we'll see. I'll probably do another episode at the trade deadline or after the trade deadline to discuss what ended up happening or did not end up happening. But yeah, that's basically it for now. I just want to do a quick summary. We'll get back into our top 50 of whenever Bubak comes back, and we'll have some more stuff to talk about. Just wanted to touch base since we haven't put something out in like a week and a half. Thanks for joining. Have a good one.